Last week, the Becker County Board of Commissioners, in a unanimous vote, decided to pass a half-cent county-wide sales tax that they hope will bring in $2 million of additional revenue into the county, which means every single one of us that buys anything in Becker County that you currently pay sales tax on will be paying an additional 0.5% on those items. Now, there are a handful of exceptions. Brand new car purchases, I believe, are exempt from this tax status, and things like houses, those big purchases, I think boats might be exempt too from this tax. But the day-to-day household items that you and I buy are going to be taxed at an extra 0.5%. The county board decided to do this because they could, in my opinion. They claim that they need the money, but let's look at exactly what went on with this whole smart tax. And that's the funniest thing. It's called a smart tax. Now, nobody outside of Becker County is calling it a smart tax. That's a clever little acronym made up here because I talked to one of the lawmakers that was involved with writing this bill at the state level, which allowed counties to do this. And when I brought up the term smart tax, I had to explain to them what that was. That's why I learned that was just a little acronym locally to try to get you and I to support this. But SMART stands for Safe, Multi-Module, Active, Responsible Transportation. And I love how they picked a buzzword like smart tax, like your smartphone, because you like your smartphone, right? Look at all the things you can do with your smartphone. Look how convenient it has made your life. And smart, like you support this, you must be smart. Likewise, if you don't, you must be dumb. Well, I guess I'm one of the dumb ones. I don't support this tax at all. This is a regressive tax. This is one of the most forms of regressive taxation you can have. A lot of people talk about property taxes. I get that. People on fixed incomes, retirees having to pay higher property taxes, that's really a downer. But with property taxes, you have essentially an item worth money that you can resell to get money. You and I are just losing it every single time we go to buy anything now in Becker County, and this tax will start to be taken July 1st. Really, what I think about this is arrogance. It's arrogant of Becker County to pass this tax, and I'll tell you why. They claim that 40% of the money generated is going to come from tourists, and they claim it's going to bring in about $2 million. Now, I question that $2 million figure, considering back in June 25th, I believe, of 2013, when the county sat down to originally begin looking at the budgets, they estimated a up to half-cent countywide sales tax would probably bring in much closer to $1.3 million. But I digress. They're going to put it up to $2 million, which means 40% of it comes from tourism. You and I, as Becker County residents, are now going to pay over $1 million a year and new taxes that are supposed to go to the transportation department. Now, the county also says that this could help lower property taxes. Really? Let's look at property taxes here in the last 20 years. In 20 years in Becker County, they've lowered property taxes one time. This last year in 2014, they lowered it 0.23%. They lowered it 0.23% after getting almost $1 million more in local government aid from the county, after getting another $20,000 in other aid from license fees, from your driver's license fee. Also, they've got more money now. They're exempt from all sales taxes. They wouldn't even be paying their own county sales tax on items that they buy. They're exempt from it, so why would they mind? Also, they're getting an increase from probation reimbursement. Also, supposed to be some money coming back from the Affordable Health Care Act. Why don't I think property taxes will get lowered? Again, once in 20 years, because after they get this money into transportation and they start taking money out of transportation to move around somewhere else, they're going to realize instead of giving you a tax break on that $2 million, they're going to say, wow, look at all we can do with this. We've got needs in human services. We've got needs of the sheriff's office. We've got needs and clamorings that we need to deal with in Becker County. I doubt you're ever going to see your property taxes have any significant reduction because of this tax. I mentioned those savings were already had. Really, ultimately what I think is this is a cowardly act because it takes our local private business people and it makes them the tax collectors for Becker County. Tax collectors for taxes they didn't feel were worthy enough for them to pass on their own or to deal with projects they didn't even want to deal with on their own. And if maintenance of the roads were so important, why have we seen a slight reduction in the amount of money the county's been spending over the last years on maintenance of those roads to the tune of about $125,000? $2.7 million of road projects comes from the state already. The county only pays a few $100,000. Now they're going to pay a few million, excuse me. Now the few millions can be taken by this. I don't think this is the right way to go. I think the county had enough money coming in, and if this is truly a priority, they could restructure the budget to do it. I think this was an easy power grab, an easy way to make our local business owners the personal tax collectors for the county, and morally, I think that's wrong. True. No one spoke in opposition of this legislation. Nobody spoke in opposition of this at the last county board meeting. However, they held that public hearing at 11 o'clock in the morning, and there were tons of local governments represented with their hand out for extra money. I wonder how many private business owners that were working that would collect this tax didn't even have an opportunity to speak. I think this was done without enough publicity, little underhandedly, and I really am disappointed that the county decided to go this route this early. I really don't think they proved the case for needing this tax.